So, have you ever heard of someone who was a pioneering educator, a world-class classical dancer, and a spiritual visionary all rolled into one? It sounds like something out of a novel, right? Well, today, we're going to talk about the incredible life of Dr. Savita Mehta. She might not be a household name, but her story, her impact, it's absolutely one for the ages.
And that quote, it just perfectly captures her. Dr. Mehta, who is affectionately known by everyone as DDG, was seen as one of those rare spirits. Her life wasn't just about collecting achievements, it was a mission to connect worlds that seemed completely separate.
Okay, so let's get right into it. The whole theme of her life, the big idea, was this concept of building bridges. Seriously, she built a bridge between ancient Indian traditions and the fast-paced 20th century. She built another one, connecting a small, remote region of India to the entire global stage. And maybe most importantly, she built a bridge between our everyday world and the spiritual one. So, how'd she do it?
All right, let's start with the first amazing bridge she built. This one was in the world of education, and it completely changed the game for a new generation of young women.
And get this, it all started when she was just 19 years old. We're talking 1940. While most people her age was still figuring things out, she took on this massive responsibility. She became the principal of the Arya Kanya Gurukul, which was a residential school for girls that her own visionary father had founded.
Now, you might be wondering, what exactly is a Gurukul? Well, it is not your average boarding school. It's this ancient model of education where learning is totally holistic. It's about shaping your mind, sure, but also your character, your body, and your spirit. It's the whole package. And that philosophy became the absolute cornerstone of her work.
And this is where you can really see her genius for bridge building just shine. She didn't make her students choose between the ancient world and the modern one. She fused them together. Imagine this. Her students would start the day with timeless Vedic prayers, and then they'd head right off to class to study modern sciences and new languages. In a time when education for women was often really limited, she was giving them both deep-rooted values and a global outlook. It was revolutionary, empowering thousands of young women, especially from rural areas, to become these confident leaders in a brand new, independent India.
But she was just getting started. Her bridge building didn't stop at the school gates. Dr. Mehta's second great bridge was built through the world of art. She took this sacred, incredibly intricate, and deeply regional dance form and carried it all the way to audiences across the entire globe.
I mean, her own artistic journey was a bridge across cultures. It started in Baroda, where she just soaked up all this Indian art and culture, but then she did something really bold. She traveled all the way to Empal, the absolute heartland of Manipuri dance, and there she broke barriers, becoming one of the very first non-Manipuli women to master the form. And from there, she became a true cultural ambassador, taking this beautiful art form to the world.
And her commitment was just profound. We're not talking about just learning a few steps. Oh no. She immersed herself in the entire culture. She mastered the super complex rhythms of Nada Sankirtana and the deep emotional subtleties of the Ras Leela dance dramas. And here's the kicker. She also mastered the traditional percussion instruments, like the mridang and the doth, learned the local language, and studied the deep yogic philosophies that are the foundation of the art itself.
You know, that kind of dedication doesn't go unnoticed. She earned this immense respect from inside the Manipuri community itself, which is a huge testament to her passion and her intellectual rigor. As one scholar put it, her scholarly approach just set her completely apart from everyone else.
And this profound dedication, it earned her the highest honors. The Maharaja of Manipur himself recognized her as a master, giving her a title that meant more than just technical skill. It meant she was a true custodian of the art form, a living, breathing bridge between cultures, built entirely through her devotion.
So this brings us to her final, and you could argue her most profound bridge, the one that connects our everyday, temporary world with a sense of something eternal. This was the spiritual bedrock of everything she did.
There's this fascinating term that people use to describe her work: spiritual entrepreneurship. For Dr. Mehta, building an institution like the Gurukul wasn't just a business venture, it was a spiritual practice. Every single decision she made was guided by this deep desire to serve, to uplift, and to create lasting social good based on timeless values.
And you can see this philosophy so beautifully in her belief that art was a sacred path. To her, dance wasn't just for performance. No, it was a disciplined journey, a sadhana. It started with the art itself, which embodied these divine qualities of truth,
goodness, and beauty, and it ultimately could lead the artist toward a real connection with the Supreme Self.
So, after a life spent building these extraordinary bridges, what's the lasting impact? Well, her legacy is both something you can touch and something you can feel, something deeply personal.
On the tangible side, you've got the Vishva Gujarati Library, which was opened in her honor. Just look at that number. It houses over 10,000 of her personal books. That's a testament to a life spent chasing knowledge and wanting to share it with everyone.
But maybe her most powerful legacy is in the lives she touched. This quote from one of her students, it just reveals so much about the deep, almost motherly faith she placed in the young women she mentored. She didn't just teach them, she empowered them by trusting them completely.
Dr. Savitadidi's life just shows us the incredible power of one person to connect different worlds. Tradition with modernity, art with spirituality, education with empowerment. And it leaves us with a really vital question, doesn't it? In our own, often fractured world, what bridges are we being called to build?